every time. Typical car guy stuff, you know, before you go on a camping trip. You gotta sneak a project in. I think we need to give this old 52 Chevy a little bit of attention. Maybe do a little bit of paint buffing, a little shine juice, oil change. So I'm gonna take this thing to a local, like, antique truck, tractor, power steam show thing. So you might as well take it looking nice, right? And one thing that people always seem to get the biggest thrill out of with this truck is when I start it. Suppose I should remove my tree that's growing. I've actually been using this thing quite a bit lately. Hauled some mulch, hauled some pallets. I'm not sure why I really didn't do a video. I guess it wasn't all that impressive of loads to haul. It just was, you know, nothing for it. I'm going to start off here with a good old pressure washing. I mean, although it doesn't look dirty in the video, it's got a pretty good layer of crud on there, and if you don't wash that off, all that does is clog up your buffing pads. Plus, it hasn't been washed in over a year. Just sits outside. It's a dirty shame, but I ain't got a shed to put it in that's big enough. I'm going to soak her down in some of this Turtle Wax Max Power. 3 levels of cleaning. Moderate, aggressive, and extreme. It's good because we need it. What's wrong with you? Neighbor kid's really blazing a trail. You can see out of the windshields finally. That's a plus. Let's run her up and down the road quick. Get all the water blowed out of it. No sense of trying to dry it off. I'd just probably fill my chamois up with green powder from all the paint and the rust. I've said it before in one of the videos of this truck, I absolutely love driving this thing. Although miserable to a point, just a blast. Just an absolute blast. Before I get started here, I'm just contemplating my wide variety of taste in vehicles. Can never remember. There it is. Oil change. Now there's nowhere near enough miles on this thing to even justify an oil change, but the last time I did it I screwed up. I put 1540 T5 Rotella in it, which is full synthetic. Whoops. And it kind of weeps it everywhere, but I don't know. I just like to do it once a year regardless of the miles, because it gets started up and moved around and shut off, and you know, I just like to keep it fresh as much as I can do to try to keep that old 6-cylinder alive. Before I forget, one of these subscribers had asked if I did a video of where the clutch spring and brake spring, or the clutch return spring and the brake return springs were hooked up on these. I guess he has one and he kind of wants to know where they're at, so I'm going to do that right now before I forget. That is the clutch return spring, and it looks like it hooks into the clutch lever down there, and then I'll crawl underneath to see where it hooks up there. And then you can tell here, right back there is your clevis that hooks up to the plunger on the master cylinder. Looks like it hooks into that, and then, well, no, hooks into that clevis and back here on something. I think it's just a tab that sticks out of the frame. So a brake return spring hooks a tab on a frame up to the clevis in front of the master, and then the clutch. Let's just go down there. Whoa, it's leaking a little. Alright, so then the clutch return spring hooks to the clutch arm there and goes back to a second tab that's welded to the frame. Well, there you go. Hope that helped. I guess now we'll do an oil change. Remember, kids, you don't need the right wrench. You just need the French wrench. Fits everything, every time, all the time. Okay, well, this time putting the right stuff in it. Also going to add a little bit of a zinc supplement just to help out with the cam and lifters and all that stuff. I was sitting here looking at things and I thought, I guess I better oil up the Dominic Toretto air filter I got. The truck used to have the factory oil bath cleaner on it, and there was really nothing wrong with those, other than the fact that I think oil bath meant is that it slobbered all over the engine and got in your exhaust manifold and smoked and stunk and basically turned into a gigantic fire hazard. In case if you're wondering, I'm putting paint on it. No, I'm not. It's I don't know how long they've done this, but K&N now has filter oil in a spray can. Alright, oil change done, and we're ready for the quarter mile. Sure. Alright, let's get at this body. I want to get the shine juice on it so it has a good chance to cook on here for the remainder of the day. Okay, well, normally I would start out buffing the paint and getting the waxing part done and then put on the shine juice. Check that bottle out. I've had it a while. A little bit goes a long ways with this stuff. But because I want this to start drying as soon as possible, I'm going to go ahead and just do the hood and the front fenders, and then the cab I'll buff the paint. The last time I put this on there, and I'm pretty sure it was my fault because I put it on too thick, I put it on the roof, and a handful of days later it had rained, and I don't think it was completely cured yet, but it like washed it off onto the windows. Whew. That was a mess. Once the stuff dries, it's damn near like clear coat. So I'm just gonna avoid doing the roof altogether and just buff that, and it's the roof. You know, who's really gonna see it? Let's go ahead and get this applied, and then we'll buff on the paint. I am, however, gonna buff the cowling here by hand real quick, just so I don't want to use the machine and, you know, have wax flying onto the shine juice and shine juice onto the wax, and I'm just gonna do this part by hand quick and then juice. Alright, well, the cowl looks much better. Now on to the easiest part of this, shine juice. Alright, now that the shine juicing's all done, we get to the buffing portion of the video with my $40 Avid Power buffer I got off of Amazon. It's a quality unit. I know it because it came with the rebuild kit. You heard me right, it came with brand new brushes, because apparently they die easily, so I mean that's handy. Anyway, I like the medium grade pad that it comes with, and then I'm just going to use the Meguiar's medium cut cleaner, and by medium it's like 70%. Yeah, I don't want to get too crazy with it because it's, you know, 72-year-old paint. If I go too crazy, it'll just burn right through and I'll have nothing left. Always making a mess. So, let's see how she does. working. It's not perfect, but then again, I do not want to go any more aggressive because it will burn right down to the metal. So, perfect. Let's continue. All right, cab's all buffed out. I'll just go ahead and apply a layer of the deep crystal carnauba wax. Stuff really seems to seal paint up and keep it looking nice for quite a while, even in the outdoors. Well, I was letting the carnauba wax dry onto the paint there. I went ahead and quick gave it a grease job. It just reminded me when I bought it, you know, very apparent that this truck wasn't greased for a very, very long time. And amazingly, every single grease zerk on this truck takes grease. It's amazing. We have trucks in a fleet that I work for that get greased regularly, and then one day they just, one zerk or two will just stop taking grease. Anyway, let's clean the rest of the wax off this cab and see how it looks.
Are you ready?
Well, there we have it. Finally got this thing looking good again and ready for the truck show. Now I gotta spend the rest of my night getting packed up for a family camping trip. Finally sit back and relax for a little bit. That'd be nice. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon.